Hey guys, I'm working on the suspension of my car again. A few years ago I installed polyurethane bushings, lower and upper bushings. The uppers are still in. These are the polyurethane bushes, but now I replaced the lower ones. I went back to the original. So I just got back from a shop. They pressed them in. They removed the old ones, the old polyurethanes, and they pressed these OEMs in.
One.
Now these are original bushings, OEM bushings, not aftermarket crap. You know, they're not gonna wear out in 6 months or a year, whatever. I went to the original bushings. Since it requires a fairly big disassembly, I had to remove the lower arm, I had to remove the spring, get this long bolt out that goes through the lower arm and the subframe, and so it requires a fairly big disassembly. So it's better if originals are used. In this case, I have new washers and the lower spring pan, and this is the spring compressor tool that I made. It cost me between $10 and $20 instead of 500 something to buy the original compressor tool. I bought 6 heavy-duty washers, and this pin is 1.25 inches long. I believe I drilled 1/4 inch hole, and I put this through, and I put silicone in the hole to keep it in place so it won't slide out when I insert it. Plus I bought these heavy-duty grade 8 lock washers. They have to go they have to go here to the lower ball joint, because I tried to buy a nut, but it wasn't available in a local hardware store. So I thought maybe I'm gonna place one here, one lock washer here, and then a nut on top of it to keep it nice and strong. So everything's ready to put back together. of course the most difficult, the most dangerous job is to remove and reinstall the spring, because it's under high pressure and I have to be careful not to get hurt when I do that. So I also bought, actually these short bolts hold the spring pan, 6 of them, those are 13mm, and I also bought these longer bolts. They're the same size as the short ones, but they're just longer, and I'm gonna use them as a guide when I compress the spring with this tool. So that's the plan. This is the front left side, and I've already done the right side, but I just didn't make any video of it. So that's the plan, and I'm gonna start to put the lower arm back in its place. That long bolt is going in slowly. I have to hammer it a little bit. Actually, it came out on this side. And this is where I have to put the washers. One goes between the subframe and the front bushing, and the other one goes also between the bushing and the subframe. And that's how it's done. This is where I am at right now. I put the lower ball joint in the lower control arm, and this is the washer I bought, the grade 8 heavy duty lock washer. I have to tighten this nut, and then I have to tighten the shock absorber lower nut and bolt, and then this bolt is gonna go through these holes, and then keeping the lower control arm together, tied together, and plus the spring is gonna hold them together. The lower control arm is made of 2 pieces. I tightened all the bolts, including the sway bar link bolts and nuts, the shock absorber, the lower ball joint is tightened, but not the crown nut. It's still loose. I have to put the spring back. Probably that's the last step, and I can finish tightening the crown nut, put the cutter pin in the hole. At this point the spring is ready to go back on with the compression tool, the spring compressor tool. Now the spring is ready to be compressed. The compressor tool is in a locked position, and all I have to do is tighten the bottom nut and compress the spring until I can install these longer guiding bolts. Now you can see all the 6 guiding bolts, 3 on this side and 3 on this side. So the point of these guiding bolts is that I don't want to stress this spring compressor tool, so I can tighten these nuts little by little along with this one, and in this way it's much safer. Maybe it's a little bit slower, but I don't care. It's a lot safer, so this spring compressor tool is not gonna snap. One snapped when I did the right side, and I don't want the same thing to happen again. So I bought these longer guiding bolts with the nuts, and I can tighten them one by one evenly. And when the spring pan attaches the bottom of the wishbone, I can remove these guiding bolts one by one, and I can install these factory shorter bolts, and the spring will be in. I've tightened all 6 nuts on the guiding bolts. Same thing on the other side. So now I can remove them one by one and put the factory bolts in. All the factory short bolts in that hold the spring pan, excuse me. And I just wanna go over a quick measurement. Probably you wanna know how high the car is and how long the spring compressor tool is. So from the bottom of the spring pan down to the ground, or in my case cardboard, is 12 inches. The spring compressor tool is 17 7/8 end to end, and I jacked up the car, and from the jacking point down to the ground is about 14 3/4 of an inch. Okay, the crown nut is tightened, so the cover pin goes in just like that, and I have a pair of pliers to bend it. So it won't move. Just like that. And I have to put the wheel back, and the job is done.